everyone, Joshua Myers here, and welcome back to my 31 Days of Howling review series. And tonight we're going to be taking a look at Disney's Haunted Mansion from 2003.
They thought they found the perfect house, but it was the house that found them.
She looks like Mom.
That's interesting.
This Wednesday, they'll have to break the mansion's curse.
You know they have dead people in the backyard.
Before the clock strikes 13.
Dark spirits come forth.
Wait till I leave before the dark spirits come out.
Eddie Murphy, The Haunted Mansion.
Starts Wednesday.
Rated PG.
Haunted Mansion stars Eddie Murphy, Terrence Stamp, Nathaniel Parker, Marsha Thomason, Jennifer Tilly, and Wallace Shawn, and is directed by Rob Midkoff. Plot of The Haunted Mansion is that Eddie Murphy stars as a real estate agent whose family comes face to face with the 999 grim-brimming ghosts in the creepy old Gracie Manor. Now, with the help of a supernatural psychic, Madame Leota, portrayed by Jennifer Tilly, they hilariously battle to break the mansion of its age-old curse, and do it before the clock strikes 13. Now, before getting on with this review, I would like to say this. Okay, so last year, for my 31 Days of Howling review series, I covered the Muppets Haunted Mansion. And I mentioned before, I am not that familiar with the Haunted Mansion and the ride specifically. Although after I watched and reviewed after I watched the Muppets Haunted Mansion, I watched some videos of like the ride and everything like that, just because I wanted to, was curious. And I also mentioned that the only one of these movies I've ever seen was the Eddie Murphy version from 2003, and I was like, you know what? This year, I'm going to cover the Eddie Murphy version. So, and I think next year I'll probably cover, for next October, I'll probably cover the new live-action one that came out. I think around the time the Muppets Haunted Mansion came out. I think it was like either 2023, maybe. So, and I'll do at some point a ranking of all the Haunted Mansion movies. So, with that said, also too, I haven't seen this movie in a long freaking time. I think it might have been a kid last time I saw this one. So, this was kind of like me going in with a fresh set of eyes, because I haven't seen the movie in a long time. So it's almost like kind of like a first viewing. So with that out of the way, let's get on to my thoughts on Disney's Haunted Mansion. Let's start off with what to start off with, because there's a lot of good things with this one. For one, I could say is so this is first and foremost a comedy. It is very much a comedy, and a lot of the jokes do land. There's times where I was laughing, so it's a pretty funny movie, and I think and then let's now talk about the actors and their performances. Eddie Murphy is the star of this movie. I mean, when you see the poster, you see Eddie Murphy right on the front. I think it says, like, when they bring it up, it's like, oh, Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion, So, he is the star of this movie, and he's good. I love Eddie Murphy movies. I think he's funny. I think he's charming. And I just like him as an actor, and I like him as a comedian. So he is pretty good in this. I would say the other actors are pretty good too. I also really liked Terrence Stamp as Ramsley, the butler. He just like a lot of these characters, especially the ghostly characters, which, spoilers, I mean, this is like what? This movie's now 21 years old, so I think it's fine for me to discuss spoilers. So, if you guys haven't seen Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion, If you have the DVD, go watch it, Blu-ray, whatever. If you have Disney Plus, go watch it on Disney Plus. Don't have any, go and rent it on video on demand. So, but yeah, like, Turnstamp is pretty as Ramsley, and also some of the other characters that reside in the mansion, like Wallace Shawn as Ezra, and Dina Waters as Emma, and Nathaniel Parker as Edward Gracie. Oh, and of course, Jennifer Tilly's Madame Leota. All of them have very, kind of mysterious qualities about them in regards of, like, their presence in this movie. And you don't know who to necessarily trust 100% in this movie. But once it's revealed, of course, all of them are ghosts. All of them, and it's like, you start to figure out, okay, who do you trust, who do you not trust, and is there somebody pulling the strings of everything, and who is it? And of course it turns out it's Turnstamp as Ramsley, the ghostly butler. He orchestrated everything that happened in the movie, so he's convinced Edward Gracie, played by Nathaniel Parker, that Eddie Murphy's wife, Sarah, played by Marsha Thomason, is his dearly departed Elizabeth, and everything, and he's trying to get them to marry so that the curse could be lifted. And of course, it's also revealed that Ramsley was also responsible for the death of Gracie's love, Elizabeth. And yeah, there's backstabbings, there's twists and turns in this movie, and I really like that aspect. And I think, again, a lot of these actors, especially the ghostly characters, portray kind of like a mysterious, like, they all have mysterious qualities about them. And of course, you do find out who to trust, who not to trust. And the ghosts you do trust, I do like the characters as well. A lot of them are nice and charming, like Wallace Shawn as Ezra and Dina Waters as Emma. Those two are pretty likable in this movie. And of course, I think Jennifer Tilly as Madame Leota is a lot of fun in this. So also too, let's talk about like, something I always do like to talk about is, because this movie does have child actors, and the one thing about with child actors is that a lot of times it's like more of a miss than a hit for me. Marsha Thomas's children do a pretty good job. Their children's Michael, like, they have a son and daughter. Their youngest son, Michael, portrayed by Mark Jeffries, and Megan, portrayed by Ari Davis. Thought they did pretty good. Some of them were pretty funny, even. Like, they had some funny jokes in that. So, and yeah, they were pretty good child actors. So overall, the acting's pretty good. I also liked a lot of the characters, as I mentioned. So, great. Great. I think pretty good characters. Great actors in this. So, also too, I think let's talk about the set design and everything. Like, I love the look of the Haunted Mansion, and it's very gothic. It's almost like Dracula would live in there. It really does. And I love how there's like stuff like, hidden passageways, and it's like this whole house is a puzzle, like a maze, going through it. I also really dig the like visual effects too. Now there's a lot. I think it mixes visual and practical effects, which is always a plus. And the practical effects are really good, really solid, cheesy, but good cheesy. You know, because the one thing I'm going to say this is that the worst practical effect is going to work better. It's going to look better than the worst digital effect. Because at the very least, it's there. It's there. The actors are interacting with it, whatever it is, and you know, there's that. Whereas a digital effect, like for example, if I do like take an example of my Howling short film, Howling: The Kills of Michael Myers. In there, spoiler, there is a sequence where I pay homage to a death scene from Howling 6. If you remember the asshole father who gets impaled and electrocuted and his head explodes. Well, I paid homage to that death scene, and I tried to do it in a way that John Carpenter would have done it. And I didn't use like expensive fire stuff. I just simply used like those sparklers from 4th of July. We taped them on the electrical box outside, and then I had my friend Josh, who was in the movie, he lit them on, and then it's like 1, 2, 3, and stabbed him, and he does his thing like so yeah. And again, like because I was like, I wanted to have practical effects, no digital effects with it. Some people were telling me, oh, I should do digital effects. I'm like, no, because it would look terrible. And also, too, speaking of digital effects, I think the digital effects in Disney's Haunted Mansion looks pretty good. Of course, you could tell they're effects, but at the same time, too, it's like, it's cheesy, has a bit of charm. That kind of reminds me of the ghost effects they did in Ghostbusters 2016 a little bit. So maybe it's the same people who did that, I don't know. Or maybe they were inspired by how the ghost effects looked in this Haunted Mansion movie. So I don't know. So, but it kind of has a bit of a charm to it in that, and there's a bit of a cheese factor, which again has its own charm. Also, let's talk about the music. I don't know who composed the music, I'll have to look into it. But whoever composed the music did a really good job. Of course, they utilize a lot of the music from the ride and everything like that, which I have heard since, and it's pretty good music. So, especially pretty good Halloween, music to play around the Halloween season. So it's cool that they utilize some of the music, and in fact, even utilize some of the stuff like at the beginning of the film. They use like the greetings, foolish mortals, line and everything. Although they didn't really use a lot of that. And then of course they utilize the grim grinning ghost song with the like head statues, with the talking head statues. So yeah, that was pretty cool that they utilize that. Another positive I have is the pacing. The film clocks in at 1 hour and 27 minutes, and it feels like that. It feels like under an hour and a half. So for those of you, for those of my audience who have short attention spans, this will be a good movie for you to pop on for the Halloween spooky season. And honestly, for me, that's it with my positives. Now let's get into my negatives, because I have a few, so let's move on into that. I think this film, I think it was a pretty solid pacing in that. I will admit, certain things could have been stretched out a bit to kind of really flesh out. But other than that, I think that's really about it with my negative. Oh, and also too, I think they could have incorporated more stuff from the ride. Now, I think they did a decent amount here, especially with, you know, but it would have been cool to incorporate more stuff from the ride. So yeah. So that's it for my negatives. I don't think I really have any more. So let's move on to my rating. So that's it. I'm going to give Disney's Haunted Mansion a 4 out of 5 stars. Honestly, this is a really fun movie. I've noticed I've been really digging the Haunted Mansion movies. I really had a great time with Muppets Haunted Mansion last year. I do have fun with this one, Eddie Murphy, like the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie. So I wonder if I'm going to dig the new one that came out. You know, the new live action one. Heard not so great things about that one, but I don't know. But neither did this movie got a great reception either. This movie came out in 2003, and as of right now, the critical reception on Rotten Tomatoes has got a 14% from critics and got a 31% from audience. So it seemed like audience liked it more than the critics, but neither of them really loved Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion. So I don't 100% know why. I personally enjoyed it. That's why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. But I definitely is like it wasn't going to get 5 out of 5 stars. So, but I think this is a fun, spooky family movie for, you know, you and the kids to watch, you and the family. But I also think if you just love Halloween and you just love the spooky stuff and everything like that, but you also want some laughs, give this one a shot if you haven't seen it. But if you have seen it, if you do like it, go rewatch it. Even if you don't like it, I would recommend go and try to rewatch it again. You might just be surprised about it, so especially if you haven't seen it in a while. So that's it for this review. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching.
Foolish mortals.